It's time to present Scott to Pod to bring you another episode of Finance Your Movie with tips and strategies to help you get your money to tell your story. It's time!
Super special episode this week of Finance Your Movie because this is one of the rare occasions we are on location shooting live. So if you're listening to this, go over to our YouTube channel and you will see Adam Boster is with me from Boster Castle Studios.
Pleasure to be here, Scott.
And usually I say welcome to the show. You're welcoming me to your incredible 10,000 square foot studio here.
And welcome to Missouri, my friend, all the way from Burbank.
It's good to be here. So you've produced, I guess, over 40 movies. You've directed almost 15 movies.
Wow, now that you think about it, that's been a crazy run, I guess, since 92, since even before that in college.
We got a lot to talk about. So let's talk a little bit about how the genesis of this studio.
Okay.
How did this come about?
Wow, what we're sitting in is a culmination of obviously decades of building resources. A lot of it's really come together over the past few years and to where you're seeing it now. But starting even in the 90s, on Dazed and Confused, I started collecting tools and things that we would use to make films.
You worked on Dazed and Confused.
Yes, absolutely.
Just bury the headline right there.
Yeah,
How
crazy.
cool was that?
Yeah, it was amazing. And you look over and you hear, all right, and nobody knows that.
What were you doing on the show?
Well, I'd gone to be a background actor. And it's the Moon Tower scene where they're having the big party.
Cool.
Right? And so there's Mia Jovovich, and nobody knows her. And there's Ben Affleck, and nobody knows him. And I run into Ben Affleck at a bar at the Keg, right? And it's like, just these ad-lib moments that they'd shoot. So it was a whole lot of fun. Got to be in a fight scene there. But you think about it, I go, I was on my way to LA to go be an actor and go work in film. And they're like, oh, you need to stay longer on set. I'm like, oh no, I got to get out to LA. I didn't know. I should have just stayed right there, right? Because think about all those people that came out of that.
But you got like 10 years of experience in LA, right?
Yes, yeah, a lot of experience out there working.
That's priceless. And then you came back to Missouri to open this huge studio.
Yep, built a photo company actually, and it became an Inc. 592 fast-growing company. And that really catapulted us into a place where we could start to fund some of our own films. We'll probably chat at some point about the very first one that was a big kind of multi-million-dollar film and what we learned out of that and then what we're applying now. But as we started to apply some of the knowledge we'll talk about, we just started collecting tools. And really, over the last 2.5 years, we've been involved in filming over a dozen features and a bunch of other projects. And so we finally just kind of ended up buying everything we need to be out in the woods for 4 nights with no power and light up everything, right? And be able to do everything from full body fire stunts, to having our own wardrobe, our own props department. We've got about 10,000 square feet of building here. We've got about 8,000 square feet of usable studio space. You can see some of that here now. The green screen that you see behind us is 2 stories tall. One wall's about
massive,
40 odd feet this way, 20 odd feet this way. The curved wall, the floor, foot of green. So we've got a lot of tools and resources. We own our own reds. We have a process trailer. We got our grip truck. Everything we need to wake up one morning and be like, hey, let's go make a movie, or get that call and go out to, like we've gone to Florida, West. We travel all over the U.S. shooting for clients.
So let's take a quick break and let's see the short clip of Boster Castle Studios.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm Angela Boster of Boster Castle Studios, and we make feature films that go to market. Watch Lost Treasure of Jesse James and Money Fight on Vudu, Tubi, Redbox, Amazon, On Demand, Plex, coming next year, Shakespeare's Mummy, and Spanx. We own everything we need to make our feature films, but we also help other filmmakers finish their films with our sound stages, green screen studio, grip truck, red camera rigs, process trailer, portable makeup studio, wardrobe and prop shop, editing bay. We even own our own armored truck and cop car. And we do our own stunts. Come make films with me at Boster Castle.
Working with Adam and his crew was amazing.
Hey, look where you're going! Take one, Mark.
The expertise, the efficiency, the experience in this world was evident right from the beginning of starting to work with them. I am so thankful that we were able to connect with them to bring our vision to life.
Join us at Gloucester Castle.
Sweet home.
Okay, so we're back in Gloucester Castle Studios. I want to thank Jordan from the Missouri Film Office
we go.
for these great hats.
Thank you, Jordan.
And
we go.
one of the reasons I wanted to come here is you're one of the only studios, there might be one or two others that I don't know about, studio houses where you're not doing commercials and music videos to pay the bill. You're actually making feature after feature after feature after feature. I mean, you
Yes. Yes.
you're just cranking them out. And you're in what I think is one of the most amazing film incentive states because the minimum spend is only $100,000.
$100,000, minimum spend on a feature. Yeah, big time. Amazing. And I think I know at one point there was an $8 million pool and another $8 million for like TV and film, but I think they've combined that. I don't know the exact numbers, but there's a big pool, 42%. And that's just, I think those numbers are unheard of.
Yeah, incredible. So your first film that you did was Money Fight. That was $3-4 million or something like that.
Well, the first film was back in the 90s in college, right? With the old video cameras that didn't work, right? And then did other things, but the real production, that we invested
That you raised the money for.
Yeah, that a product placement. Remember, I say that right?
Private placement memorandum.
Private placement. I should know this because I had to talk to people about it, man. And we'd built this success in business, and so we built a collection of people who listened to us and trusted in our knowledge. And so when we said, hey, look, we've been successful over here in business. Now we're going to go into business of film. Come with me. Jump in, throw 10 grand in, throw $100,000 in, throw $1 million in. We had people that went along on the ride, and boy,
And let's back up a little bit.
learn a lot.
Are you just reaching out to people in your Rolodex? You calling people up? How did you get those people on board?
It was literally everything from my sister to my CPA, my accountant. I hate to say it, some of our clients. That people that had found that hey. They've watched our growth, they'd watched our success, and they literally said, man, whatever these guys touch turns to gold. And so we were excited. We believed that was going to be the case. And, that was a real big learning curve for us.
What was the learning curve on a $3 or $4 million film?
You go into it with the belief that every filmmaker believes that their idea is the idea. And it's gonna go gangbusters. I just got to get it made because if I make it, it's gonna be amazing because I see, right? And they have this mindset.
And you have to have that mindset with a little bit of cautious optimism. With a little bit of reality. But you got to have that enthusiasm.
Yes. So we boldly went where we'd not gone before, and started going, okay, well, we're gonna make this film for $400,000, right? And then it went up to $900,000.
That's where it started?
It was even cheaper than that at the beginning.
Oh my God.
But yeah, and by the time we were done, years later, we're at over $4 million. We actually went in and opened up our own distribution company. We bought a room at AFM. We hired experienced salespeople to come in.
Wow.
It was a big learning curve.
Wow.
Huge.
All right, so let's jump into one of the other films, which I was really impressed with, by the way, which is, I think you made this in 2020, The Lost Treasure of Jesse James.
Yeah, 2018 filming that released around 2020 in
Okay.
that crazy time.
And what was the budget on that?
So we finished that for what I'm going to say under 300, and then
You got smart.
Yes, yeah. So we realized, hey,
A little more frugal.
a little more frugal. And my whole mindset, man, now is this, and if you got $3 million, make 10 movies for 300,000, okay, or make
100%.
5 movies for 300,000 and take 1.5 and market the crap out of it. That's really like my ideal window.
100%. Because if you do a slate of films, we don't want to get sidetracked down that slate thing for too long. But if you did take that and did a slate of films, 1 or 2 of those films would probably break out.
Yes. And that's the old studio model of, hey, if I make a dozen, I know a third are going to lose, a third are going to break even, and a third are going to make some money, and one of them's going to be the winner.
Okay, so $300,000, not a lot of money, but for a first-time filmmaker, might be a little bit daunting. You know, they did their $50,000 micro budget, Kickstarter, crowdfunding, whatever.
Yeah.
How did you get the $300K?
Well,
Same thing, just calling people up?
Well, luckily, I positioned myself in a way where I could leverage things that I owned.
So you put up the money,
I put up the money, yeah.
and you made
Yeah.
you made money back on
Yeah, it was
that,
a
right?
knock on wood. Yeah, so it's an exciting place. And that was our first, foray into that part of the business at that level, right? And said, okay, we succeeded at this level. We actually were able to look at this financially and go, okay, this is a win. It's not this massive win, but man, we did it. We could do it again.
You sold some foreign territories.
Yep.
You got some streaming deals. It's still making money, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the best things about that movie, not that I would ever tell a filmmaker what kind of film they want to make. That's up to them.
Yeah.
But I looked at it immediately. Wow, wide audience.
Yes.
Like family friendly.
Yeah.
Wide audience. So
So when we were doing Money Fight and we started Fairway Film Alliance with Marty Poole and got him in business, I went to Marty immediately after this drastic failure with the financial, end of Money Fight, and going, man, I got to dig myself out. I got to pay my house off. Marty, I'm going to make a movie. Dude, what do I make? What's going to sell? And he's like, okay, family-friendly films. Right, and it needs to have these qualities, right? And so we really crafted that together, and that's where
Smart.
we moved into that genre. So
valuable lesson. Always think about the audience first
Yeah.
and how you're going to market it to the audience first. Doesn't mean you can't make another movie, but get a handle on that, whatever the genre is.
Yeah.
So you've done so many, I don't know, like 5, 10 movies in the past 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, Boster Castle's worked on a dozen features in 2.5 years. Within that, we have shot. I keep kind of losing track, but the majority of those we shot the whole thing. And a few of them we've already posted those features, at least 2 of them over this 2.5 years. So it's been a busy.
And you've
2.5
had, like,
years.
what's going on with, like, Slasher.com, Homeless for the Holidays?
Sure. So Slasher.com was before this 2.5 year period, but that's a feature that we did as we were kind of ramping into these ideas and working with a local filmmaker named Chip Kubera, who's teaches at the university. And Slasher, we finished again in that same budget range, right? And it went to market with Stu at ITN, and we saw some successes there, right? And so that's out. You can see it in your Money Fight. You go on and you can look on any of your streaming companies. But in the last 2.5 years, we look at another film like we went to Kentucky, Homeless for the Holidays with Whit Whitman, and that's out with, I think it's Breaking Glass. Picked that up and put it out as well. A gentleman named Aaron Williams came to us with 3 different films that we worked with Aaron on, 2 of which are on Fossum.
So Aaron came to you. Who raised the money? Did you or did
No, that
Aaron?
was Aaron's financiers for that. So
Okay.
he hired us to make the films, to shoot the
Okay.
films. And so he actually comes in, real hot on the gate and says, hey, look, man, I got to make 2 period pieces, and I need to make them back to back, and I need to shoot them this fast. And that's that conversation.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm telling you, man, the speed of shooting that was ridiculous. And we were able to pull it off. He's like, and it needs to be a period piece, and it needs to have a very large amount of African American actors, right? It was geared for that audience, and so there was all these different hurdles to tackle, and it had to be done quick, and it was a fast turnaround. Right, and so our studio provided all the equipment, all the catering, housed the entire project, right here in Columbia, and so those went on to Fossum and
Transportation department,
Yep.
catering, like everything. No rentals, everything.
Yeah, it was all here. And so that was a case where he was able to say, hey, look, you guys already have a hair and makeup trailer. It's not, this big glamorous thing, but man, it works.
Yeah.
You've already got your art department trailers. You've already
Yeah.
got your transportation trucks. You've
A
already
whole
got your-
costume department upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah, and we went up there and we said, hey,
Yeah.
we started pulling.
Production offices.
Yeah, exactly. And we literally had to have all these period costumes. And so we're going up
Yeah.
to our big wardrobe room and we're shopping. And every film that comes in is kind of like that. That's like, hey, what do you have here that we can take? We don't have $1 million, but we want it to look like we have $1 million. And how can you stretch that? Right. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what we do.
So not put you on the spot, but let's just say someone could, hey, I want this film to look like $1 million.
Yeah.
What would an average, with everything you have here, let's forget about the 42% they're going to get back from Missouri.
Sure.
What
Sure.
could you do a typical film, just a ballpark,
Sure.
like 300, 400,000 to make it look like $1 million?
Yeah. Well, I would say real solid answer is what we, for under $300,000, we have repeatedly completed features that we stretched that kind of a look.
I've seen some of your films, a very high production, like the film we saw last night.
Spanx.
Yeah, massive production value.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have a movie going to theaters too, right?
Well, our crew at Boston Castle has worked on a number of films we talked about, and one of those over the past 2.5 years is a feature called Jester 2. And so that one's actually going out into theaters here very soon.
Nice. So this fall?
I think it's
Winter?
like within the next days, or I think it's coming up in this month, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
So late 2025,
Yeah.
if you're watching or listening. Let me ask you this. Who would be your ideal client that knocks on the door over there and says, hey, I want to make a movie?
Sure. Again, somebody who
It might be me next, by the way, because I like saving money. When I'm raising money for investors,
Yeah.
they want to know
yeah.
what's the most value we can get if we're putting in X number of dollars.
Yeah.
Because they don't like the risk.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if you can minimize the risk,
Exactly. And I mean, you just nailed it, right? Obviously, we want to accept anybody who wants to come and film with us that is going to have a project that makes sense, But given what I find is a really tight fit, right, is here in Missouri, 42% tax credit, $100,000 minimum spend, that $300,000 SAG, number that you can stay under, and we even do a lot of them that go non-union and bring in SAG actors, right? So that little kind of model, is really solid for us, and we're able to take it and stretch that so that you're literally getting, taking 10 cents and turning it into $1. It's amazing. Now, if they've got more funds again, that helps them do more, makes it bigger, makes it more magical. Obviously, we're not going to turn down, the bigger budget projects either. But does that help answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what advice would you give to filmmakers raising money for their first or second feature? Because you raised millions.
Yes.
You put some of your own money in some of your films. You've also gone back and raised a little bit of money. You've done it before.
Yeah.
First-time filmmakers raising money, what are some tips?
Sure. So I know this guy named Scott DuPont. Oh, really? With the knowledge that you have, I think.
But I didn't know you a few months ago. What were you doing before we met?
Yeah, but I think they would be idiotic if they didn't communicate with you about these details, given all the experience that you have. So before our interaction, it's a tough answer. It's such a tough answer because I've seen people package projects and look to raise money based off of names that they're putting in their films. I've done that. We did that for Money Fight, Red Canvas Money Fight.
But what worked for you? Because so many people can't get those people to say yes.
Yeah. So let's look at Money Fight because that's a real tangible thing I can talk to you about. That I can go, hey, I did this. This is what we did. So we set ourselves up in a position where we had a budget that was supposed to stay in place, and divided those shares up into units that were digestible, and we had a big conversations about this where we're like, hey, you know what? We're not going to be able to get people to put in $100,000, but we can get some people to put in 20 grand, right? And then we split that into 10, and then I hate to say it, but we even got down to 5s. But it was a matter of
like a half share, quarter share, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's literally, we would talk to people that we believed could invest. And the question I would ask them was actually very specific. It was like, hey, here's this equation. Here's this business model. Here's the product. It's going to go to, we're business people. I'm an entrepreneur. The filmmaker may not be able to say that, right? But for me, it was, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I sell a product. This is the product I sell. This is a new product we're building. We know the market. We've worked in the market. This is our projected sales. And you build the plan that you talk about that you can build for them. And then you say, look, who do you know that would be interested in this. And then they say, oh, well, they either say, oh, my cousin Tim, my CPA, my lawyer, my this guy, my that guy.
So you were calling people up, and if they didn't have the money, you would ask, hey, do you know anyone else who might be interested in looking at this?
I wouldn't even ask them, hey, are you interested in working on this? I'd say, who do you know that is interested in working on this? And they'd go, well, I am.
Because it's only like 10 or 20K.
Yeah.
And there are a lot, I want the filmmakers to embrace this. There are a lot more people out in the world that, if they have a real job, I'm not talking about homeless people, that might have $10,000, $20,000. It's not a big number for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It is for some, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You also said something that you were talking to them like a business to business person. You were talking to them like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And one of the things, so in the next episode, we're going to kick you out of that chair. We're going to bring in John Woodruff, my client. John's got an incredible
Fabulous director, by the way.
Yeah, incredible talent, and he has a little bit of a business background. But one of the things that I think that added value, because he's already got his first investor on board, is adding Boster Studios to the business plan. You're the business guy. Yep. He's got an incredible background. That package helps people feel comfortable investing.
Yes. And building those kinds of strategic alliances, building that kind of package. But I really want to just come back to what you just said, and that is that if you walk in to talk to somebody that has money, and you're coming in as an artist, that is the worst approach ever, right? But if you're coming in with business partners, with alignments, going, hey, look, yes, this is a cool creative project, and you might be interested in this project as a creativity, but all creativity aside, let's talk about the business end of it. Here's my resource here, with distribution, with finance, with funding. Here's my distribution plan. Here's my business end from building it and being able to actually have the contractor that constructs it. Here's the track record that we have, that these resources have. And so therefore, here are the projections of what has been done in the future. And so the money we're looking at is you put in X and you should be making this much. It's really that simple.
Yeah. Disclose the risk, but you've got a very serious plan. You know the audience, you know the marketing. So great answer. Okay. I think that was really important.
Cool.
So what's the best way that people can follow you or contact you?
Boster. It's like Foster with a B, right? You can remember that. Boster Castle Studios. You need to look it up, .com.
BosterCastleStudios.com.
Yeah. And if they can't remember that, can remember Adam Boster. They can look me up on IMDb, and there's links all there to Boster Castle Studios. And if there's a filmmaker out there that needs to reach me, my phone number is on IMDb. If you don't have IMDb Pro and you're looking to be a professional filmmaker, I'm sorry, man. Get IMDb Pro, and then you can find my phone number.
Or pick a partner with a track record
yes.
who has IMDb
Who has
Pro.
IMDb Pro, yeah, exactly. I mean, so those kinds of resources, are available. Absolutely.
So one final thing, I want to thank you for hosting us here today in this amazing studio. I'm just blown away.
Thank you for coming all the way from the magic land of Hollywood and Burbank.
2 short, easy flights, real easy to get here. But one of the reasons I wanted to come in here, because there are a few studios like this, probably, I haven't seen one as impressive. So the studios are right up there.
Thank you.
But one of the great resources I think you have is there are certain states with 20, 30% incentive.
Yeah.
But you got to spend $250,000, you got to spend $500,000, $1 million.
Yeah.
You're Missouri, thanks to Missouri, 100,000 spent. But I think the key that you also have, I would never, as a seasoned filmmaker, I would never want to go into a state, and I'm not going to call out any single state, where they don't have the infrastructure here.
Yeah.
And every single crew member I've seen, a lot of them are standing behind the cameras right here, has been professional. You guys have made dozens of movies together now.
Yeah.
The cast pool you have here locally is incredible. So you got everything.
Which we've vetted, over 20 years vetting people. I think what we call it, and I hear this term more and more in the industry now, is your film family. especially as it becomes less about the big hubs and more about these regional, like what we have. We really, really do have a film family, and we do care about each other. I really care about their ability to make a living, their ability to work, their ability to succeed.
Well, we don't want Apple to go homeless.
Exactly. That's my awesome daughter who's first AD, first AC, and working with us. Yeah.
She's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you all for hosting us here. That's another episode of Finance Your Movie. We'll catch you next week.
It's time!
There's never been a better time to make your own film. And if you have a dream project you're excited about and 100% committed to getting it funded, go to financeyourmovie.com, click on the green telephone, you'll see our calendar and find an open spot. We'll do a one-on-one call, which will be the best hour you've ever spent getting clarity and strategy towards financing your movie.